Welcome to the PACWEST's Best in Class, highlighting student athletes that are leaving their mark on athletics and academics across the conference.
It's the PACWEST Best in Class. This is Julia Siemens from the CBC Bearcats in her second year taking general studies. Hello, Julia.
Hi, Ryan.
Disappointing you didn't get a chance to play this year, hey?
It is. It's too bad, yeah.
How are things with you? Are you holding up okay?
Yeah, it's been a hard year not being able to play, but I think school has been a highlight, and being still able to see my teammates.
Have you been able to get on the floor and do anything with teammates, anything like that during the different phases?
Yeah, like depending on the restrictions, we've been able to have some distance practices, and that's been a challenge because there's not a lot you can do distance in volleyball, but working on our skills has been good, and we've seen improvement. So.
There's no blocks. You can't block, I don't think, right? Now, you're taking general studies at CBC. Why did you choose to go to CBC?
Yeah, I think I saw CBC as an investment academically, but also for myself as a person. That's what I saw CBC as being a school that would grow me as a person and had a great community, and that's what it's been. So.
And why general studies? Is it still trying to figure out things?
Yeah, I chose general studies just so I could get a broad spectrum of academic classes that I could take. And just broaden my worldview and my horizons. So.
Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
I think CBC's prepared me for whatever it is that I plan on doing. So, yeah.
I like that. What are some of the challenges as a student athlete? There must be time constrictions, and in a non-COVID year, you would have practices and matches and that kind of stuff. So, what kind of challenges do you face as a student athlete?
Yeah, I think last year was harder because we had games every weekend, and so I think that's when I learned most of my time management skills of how do I stay on top of my studies and also be a student athlete and be away on weekends and playing games and having practices. And so I think learning the lesson of time management last year has been good, and that's prepared me for this year, even though we don't have games, but still practicing and still being involved as a student athlete.
Do you remember, was it a shock to your system when you all of a sudden had all these games and practices, and if you have to get in the weight room and then you have homework, like, was it a shock to your system?
Yeah, it was. And I think like high school was kind of the same thing, right? Like high school volleyball practice, but not to the same extent of your weekends and things. So it was definitely a shock, and it took some getting used to. On the academic side of how do I manage my classes and also practices. So yeah, it was a shock, but
Do you find yourself studying on the bus or reading on the bus when you're traveling to, say, Cotter?
Right. Yeah, as much as you can. Even going to the island, like reading up for your journal and bringing your homework along, that helps. So.
Yeah. Would you do it again? Knowing what you know now, and you've had a year away from volleyball, so to speak, with games and matches, but would you do it again?
I totally would. Yeah. I've loved and enjoyed my experience being a student athlete, and no matter what the timeline for that holds, I think I don't look back. I loved that decision to come to CBC and what that's provided for me.
What would you tell yourself, knowing what you know now, if you could go back in time and tell a younger Julia coming into her first year at CBC, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, I think just to be confident in my opportunity to play post-secondary sport, and to be at a college and in the classes I'm taking, and to just like give it my all. And I've learned that, and so I think I would tell myself that sooner though. But, yeah.
Nice. Well said. Thank you so much for doing this, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see you on the floor again in the fall.
Great. Thank you, Ryan.
The PACWEST's Best in Class, highlighting the men and women of the PACWEST Conference. To learn more, visit pacwestbc.ca.